welcome to my channel. This is the next video in my puppy series, and it is all about potty training. Often potty training can be a really frustrating experience, but really the most important thing is that you remember to remain patient and calm during the process. Also remember that all dogs, all puppies learn at different speeds, as well as young puppies cannot hold their bladder at all, so there will be mistakes and your puppy will go potty in places where you don't want them to, and they won't even really realize that they are doing it. It's just something that comes with being a puppy. Even when you think things may be going well, there's always the opportunity or the chance that mistakes will happen. The very first thing to do is to create a schedule so that your puppy knows what to expect and when to expect it. And for your puppy to learn, you need to be consistent. Once you decide on your schedule, you need to stick to your schedule. When you first bring a puppy home, it is best if you are able to stay home for a few weeks or a month. If you can't be home, then if it's possible, try to come home at lunch or throughout the day as often as you can, or have someone else come in and check up on your puppy, take your puppy outside. Or if you have to leave your puppy alone for long hours, you may need to take your puppy to a daycare or hire someone to come in and look after your puppy or to take your puppy out. If you do get someone else to come look after your puppy, give them a schedule and have them stick to the same schedule that you would be on the days that you are home. So an example of a puppy around 9 to 10 weeks would be when they first wake up, the very first thing that you do is take them outside to go potty. Then you would take them in and they would have breakfast, and you would take them outside again after breakfast. Then in about 45 minutes to an hour, you would take them outside again to go potty, and then you could leave them alone for 2 to 3 hours inside a pen, so an X pen, or an area of the house that is dedicated to them, that is puppy proofed and safe, and leave them with some pee pads. Then after 3 or so hours, you would take them outside potty right away, right when you take them outside of the pen. During this time, you will also clean up any mess that they have made inside the pen and dispose of the pee pads or whatever needs to be done. Then you would spend time with your puppy, play with them, engage them, because they have just been in the pen, most likely sleeping or playing by themselves for 3 to 4 hours when you had left them. So once they have gone potty, play with them, engage with them a bit, then put them back in your pen because you most likely have work to do or you have to leave again. But before you leave and put them back in their pen, take them outside, let them go potty again. So now you're leaving them alone midday again for the second time for about 3 hours, and the minute you get back, take them out again, clean up the mess just as you did before, and then assuming you are home for the rest of the evening, you're going to take them outside about every 45 minutes to an hour, and then pick a time where they will be going to bed, and that's when they go inside their crate. And you can watch my previous videos about crate training and having your puppies sleep through the night. For really young puppies before the age of about 10 weeks, you will want to wake them up throughout the night to take them outside, because it is actually impossible for your puppy to hold their bladder throughout the whole night, just as it is impossible to hold it throughout the day. Throughout the night, you can also provide pee pads. However, when you are taking your puppy outside throughout the night, it is really important that you don't engage with them. You don't really talk to them. You don't play with them. You don't let them think that in the middle of the night, it is time to get up and start getting excited and rambunctious. In the middle of the night, this is just business. They're doing their business outside and they're coming back in and going right back to sleep. Your puppy will learn that nighttime is for sleeping. So basically, you're taking your puppy out every hour or so throughout the day when you are awake. So you can set a timer to remind yourself or whatever you need to do to remember to do that. You're also taking your puppy out after every activity or transition or change. So after they eat, you take them out. After you take them out of their pen or their crate, you take them out. After they're finished playing, you take them out. After they wake up from a nap, you take them out. Every time they transition into something else, or they get up, or they start to do something else, you take them outside, because that's when they're most likely to want to go to the washroom, when they're transitioning, when a new activity begins and then something else ends, and after eating or after drinking. You really want to establish a routine, which is what the schedule and setting the timer will help you do. And you really want to take your puppy out on regular intervals. So every hour, every change of activity, after eating, after sleeping or napping, and after playing. As they get older, of course, you will not have to do this as often and after every activity or every transition. This is for young puppies under 10 weeks or so of age. For older puppies, you will still want to take them out after eating and after sleeping, but you don't have to after playing, and you'll get to start to know your puppy and when they are more likely to go to the washroom, which is usually after eating and after waking up from a nap. In the beginning, you really want to learn to read your puppy. Your puppy will give you signals when they have to go to the washroom without them even realizing they're doing it. This may be walking in circles or sniffing the ground or getting up and moving towards the door. When you see your puppy performing these signs or giving you these signals, which you have noticed that they tend to do, then you can rush your puppy outside to an appropriate area where you want them to go potty. When you take your puppy outside, especially in the beginning and the younger puppies, they will probably not go to the washroom right away. They might want to play, they might be curious, they might be looking and smelling and hearing all these different things. You might need to stay outside with your puppy for 10 to 15 minutes and just wait for them to do what they have to do. They will eventually do it. And the more often you get them to potty in where you want them to, which is outside on grass or in a designated area in your backyard, the more of a habit they're going to get into doing that outside. So every time that they potty inside, it's not enforcing this habit. Often, if you don't wait long enough with your puppy outside or leave your puppy outside long enough when you're trying to get them to go potty, and when you bring them back inside, they'll probably go potty inside within the first few minutes of bringing them in. Also, some puppies, they will maybe pee once and then in 30 seconds or so pee again the second time. They're not yet capable of releasing their bladder all at once, or they just don't really realize that they have to. So sometimes your puppy may go outside and then you bring them in and they'll go inside a few seconds later or a minute or so later. So you might, if you notice that this is a pattern for your puppy, you might need to wait until they go outside twice before you bring them in. And you want to remember to always reward success. So when your puppy does go outside, make a party out of it. Say, good boy, good girl, good dog. Give them a cookie, give them a treat. Make it really fun and exciting. And also start to label the word. Whatever you want to say when you want your dog to go to the washroom, use that word, like go pee or hurry up, or whatever cue word you want to use to let your dog know that you want them to go to the bathroom. Rewarding success can be praise, treats, play, cuddles, whatever your puppy responds to. And you always want to ignore the accidents. So when your puppy does go inside, you don't punish them, you don't yell at them, you don't get upset with them, you just clean up the mess and remember to take your puppy outside more often. If your puppy does make an accident inside and you see them doing it, pick them up right away and rush them outside as quick as you can, and they will most likely finish going outside. You really want to be sure that you clean up the accident so your puppy can no longer smell their mistake inside. So from 8 to 9 week old puppies, your puppy is really just learning where the toilet is, where the appropriate place to go potty is. During the night, you're taking your puppy out around every 4 hours or so. And during this time at night, there's no play and there's no engagement. You're just taking them out, they're doing their business and going right back to sleep. And during the day, you're taking them out almost every hour and after every activity change or transition. For puppies that are 9 to 12 weeks old, this is where your puppy learns a bit more about bladder control. So earlier they were learning where the washroom is, now they're learning to control their bladder. And you get to take your puppy out only every hour or so. And you will be able to extend this length of time to an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever is right for your puppy as you see that they are able to hold their bladder for longer periods of time. And at night, you can take them out every 6 hours, so only once a night instead of previously where you were taking them out around every 4 hours. And then from 3 to 6 months old, you can give your puppy a lot more space. They don't need to be in this pen or this crate. They have a lot more freedom. You definitely shouldn't be using pee pads anymore, and you will really know your puppy a lot better. You will know their signals, their cues, when they have to go to the washroom, what times of the day they are usually going, if they're going after they're eating, after they're playing, napping, what they do before they have to go. So you'll be able to pick up on these signals from your puppy a lot easier. And you no longer have to take your puppy out in the middle of the night. Instead, just right before they go to bed and first thing when they wake up. From 3 to 6 months old, you will still need to keep a close eye on your puppy and keep them in a confined space when you aren't able to readily interact with them or keep an eye on them at all times. This may not be a pen or a crate, maybe just a room or an area that is puppy proofed, a few rooms that are puppy proofed. You usually don't want them to have run of the whole house yet. During this time, you can also introduce a way for your puppy to let you know that they need to go outside. This can be something like ringing a bell, which is what my dogs do when they need to go outside. They tap this bell with their paw or their nose and it makes a noise, and I can come from almost anywhere in the house. I can hear it and I can come and let them outside. To teach your puppy this, all you will need to do is have the bell hanging by the door in a place that your puppy can reach, and you ring it and make sure your puppy sees you ringing it every time you take them out. You might not always be able to do this, especially in the beginning if you're rushing your puppy outside because they have to go right away, but as they get older and they're able to hold their bladder for longer periods of time, you can take the few seconds to show your puppy the bell. I like to use a treat, and I'll lure the puppy with a treat by holding the treat up to their nose and slowly dragging the treat towards the bell and then ringing the bell. If you teach your puppy cues like touch, which is what I did with Penny, I'd point to the bell and say touch, and she'd touch the bell with her paw, and then I would let her out. But most dogs can pick it up if you are the one ringing the bell, as long as you make sure you have their attention by using a treat or getting them to look at the bell. Often with the treat, if you lure the treat from their nose towards the bell, they will automatically hit the bell with their nose, so they will be ringing the bell. Then you treat them and let them outside. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in the next puppy video. Bye.